Hello, IEW Bible class. I miss you guys. I wish we could be in person together, but I wanted you to be able to finish out your year still getting to work on your writing skills. So I am going to take you through the next portion that we are working at home to continue IEW for a little while here, and that way you can work through it as well at home. Moms and dads, I want to encourage you to stick with your student on this a little bit. Tori has definitely needed a little bit of guidance from me on working with something, we'll call it the TRIAC, TRIAC portion that's being introduced here. So without further ado, you can pause this until you have your workbook in front of you and then continue. So I want you to turn to page 225. And you will see that we are starting lesson 26, Saul's conversion. This is a great one, and it's fantastic for a number of reasons. You are going to learn, you're going to develop your skills for responding to literature in lots of different areas of life. You may have a text, a source, an article, a book that you read, and then you're supposed to write a report on it. And this chapter and lesson teaches you how to properly respond and how to break it out. And it's wonderful because it's kind of like if somebody said to you, make me ratatouille, the dish, not the movie. I would be like, what is in ratatouille? And how, like, I think I've heard there's zucchini and maybe eggplant. I'm not even sure. I would need the recipe before me. And with the recipe, it would be like, whew, I know exactly what to do. It's all laid out before me. And that is what this is going to do for y'all. And it's going to make it so much easier. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to read through page 226. You can turn your page. And you're going to read through the new structure, response to literature. I want you to know that one thing that's going to change here is instead of having 3 paragraphs to write out a story sequence, remember story sequence is writing about the characters and setting, about the conflict and things like that, and then about the resolution. Instead of having 3 paragraphs to write that out, you're going to write it out in 1 paragraph today. For those of my more reluctant writers, yay, that's less for you. You just get it all in 1 paragraph. That'll be great. And then your first paragraph is going to be your introduction. Your second paragraph is going to be your story sequence, what happened in Saul's conversion, you're reading. Your third paragraph is going to be something new, and it's called the TRIAC. And if you look down on your paper in the middle, you'll see where it says the process. Step 1 is you're going to read Conversion of Saul from Acts. Sorry, I'm driving me crazy. Yes, Acts. Step 2, you are going to choose 1 topic. And at the bottom, it lists options for you. You could choose a main character and talk about their qualities or their motive or the effect or change that was had. You could pick the message. The main lesson, the changes. Did you have a similar personal experience? You could talk about the setting or the mood. Anyway, you are going to choose 1 aspect that you're going to discuss in your third paragraph of your writing. Now, look at step 3 on page 227, if you would. Once you've chosen a topic for your analysis topic paragraph, paragraph 3, you're going to scan the source text, the reading on the conversion of Saul, and you are going to find a quote that relates to the chosen topic. If you have a pencil, even underline this part. Find a quote that relates to the chosen topic. It may relate to Saul's character. It may relate to Saul's, the major change that happened in who Saul was, going from mean and terrible to Christians to a follower of Christ. Find a quote that relates to your one thing that you're gonna critique or analyze. Then you're going to follow the triac model outline, and you're going to use that in your paragraph 3. So you can finish reading through step 3 and 4 on this page. I'd like you to turn to the next page, page 228. And on this page, you'll find your reading, The Conversion of Saul. As always, I encourage you to take a highlighter or a pencil. Parents, this is where you can really help them key in on important parts: the character, the setting, the main problem, the climax, and the resolution, how it all came together. And especially after you've read it, I think you're going to decide again, what is that one topic that you want to address? And you'll find those options at the bottom of page 226 under step 2, for if you're choosing one main character and a quality about them, or if you're choosing the message in the main lesson. Once you decide what your one thing is that you're going to key in on, I want you to go to your reading, and I want you to put a star or majorly highlight the quote from your source text that you want to use. Quote does not necessarily mean something that somebody said. It can be, for example, in here it says, "The men who traveled with him stood speechless, hearing the voice but seeing no one." That's not something that somebody said, but if I used those words and put it in my writing, I would be quoting the text. So that's what I mean when I say quote. Not even necessarily what somebody said, but words from your source text that you're going to then use in your writing. So highlight that important part that you want to use in your writing. All right, now come over to page 229, and you'll see where you can start into your keyword outline. You'll notice that your second paragraph, for parents, the students don't write their introduction and their conclusion until after they've gotten the body together, and it helps them wrap their head around what they're introducing or what they're concluding. So paragraph 2, as I said, your story summary is going to be all in one paragraph. So you're going to, in one paragraph, keyword outline, the characters, the setting, the problem, conflict, the climax, resolution, and remember to limit your details. Summarizing is just telling some of what you read, some of it, summarizing. All right, move on to paragraph 3, and this is your analysis topic, and this is where we introduce the triac. Now, it's laid out for you, and the very first thing you're going to do under the T is you're going to tell your reader what is the one key thing that you're focusing in on. Was it a character and a certain quality? Was it the main message? Whatever it is, you're going to put in keyword, so limit 3 words plus your abbreviations or symbols. You're going to put that down for your T topic. The restriction is, I had to look into this a little bit. The restriction is basically the background for that topic. And so you've got 2 lines. You're going to give the background for the topic, and then you're also going to tell any detail about it. So for example, your topic may be that Saul is on his way to Damascus and has a radical change encountering Jesus Christ. Well, a background you may want to give to that, your restriction for the R would be, you may want to explain that Saul used to be cruel and threaten Christians. That would be an example of a background to it. And then you may want to say that, however, because this happened, he encountered Jesus Christ, he now has fellowship with, he was converted, and he now has fellowship with Christians and proclaims the gospel. So your R for restriction is giving background and resulting details of your topic. I for illustration. This is where you're going to put down your quote or your example from the text that you starred or highlighted that supports the topic that you're discussing in your paper. A, for analysis, this is going to be the examples from the text that support or tell more about why you are highlighting this quote or this example. You're going to go into more detail of why. For example, if you're saying that Saul had an amazing transformation becoming from this person that threatened and took down Christians to somebody that was absolutely for Christ and the gospel, you give a quote about that, and then under A, analysis, you're going to talk about what you read from the text that supports that quote, that supports your topic, and tells more about that change that happened in Saul in that particular example. So A is giving more support and details on your illustration or your quote that you chose. All right, and last is C, the clincher. And y'all know that is the line that wraps up your main thought and ties it up with a bow to say this was the, again, the main thought of this paragraph. This is new. This part is very new. So I want to encourage you, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, call me. I contacted 2 other IEW teachers before I did this online lesson to make sure I understood this, and I am still learning it myself is what I'm trying to say. But I love it because, again, it breaks it down for the student. This is how you say what you're writing about, an example to illustrate it. Here's a couple of sentences in support and explanation of that quote or example. It's a great recipe. It really is. And then turn to page 230. You can read on the conclusion. This is where you get to put in your personal feelings and how this has personal significance for you. Parents, again, you may need to walk your children through the first time with this, or once they write their keyword outline, make sure they're staying on track. I want to remind you that you're not to use personal pronouns. I think, we, us, you. You will read in here, it gives some examples where you can say things like, this story demonstrates, or this story teaches, or this story reminds one that, and those are ways that you can say your opinion without using personal pronouns. All right, so this is fairly self-explanatory. You're gonna say what your main focus is again, and you're then going to give your personal feelings or how it is significant to you personally, and then what it most significant, if you could pick out the most significant piece that resonates or that you think or feel about, put that on the most significant line, and then a line that explains why is that most significant to you. And make sure that your title repeats 1 to 3 keywords from your final sentence, just as a reminder. And then page 231, your introduction. I want you to read, for the sake of time on this video, it's very self-explanatory. I want you to read through that. And we've been through introductions, so you're gonna do it, your attention getter, your background, and the main focus and some keywords on those final lines. And then on page 232, you have your composition checklist. And I want to continue to encourage parents, if you want to alter the checklist, by all means, alter it. Please, please do. I'm going to encourage parents to grade their children's work at this point in the change of our year. But I will continue to put out emails with another YouTube video before the year is out so that you can continue to work on this. If PACE had continued as it was, we probably would have gotten through this lesson and one more at least. I don't know that we would have gotten in a third, trying to give students enough time to learn new concepts and have the time to go through those different editing stages. But I am excited to end on this note because I think it's a really valuable tool to have in response to literature. I, again, miss y'all. I hope this finds everybody well at home. We really look forward to being back with everybody next year at PACE. Parents, students, if you have any questions, feel free to email or call. And I'll have, of course, the email outline that came with this video link. Take care, everybody. Bye.